We shall see if that all works. And to get us started, before I hand it over to one moment for Ashkan, I do want to point out that Women's History Month is not only celebrated in the United States, it's actually celebrated in many countries of the world, even if you may not have been aware of that up until now. But the United States is usually the country that we know most about when it comes to the different month in which we're celebrating. For example, Canada, Australia, the United Kingdom, they all also celebrate Women's History Month. And some of them celebrate it in October. So somewhere in the world, we have Women's History Month. And as we all possibly remember, on the 8th of March was International Women's Day. Depeche and Voice 8 had an event. I know Goldy also had an event on the 9th, I believe, in celebration of women. And so it's all coming together now at the end of the month of March. And therefore, we decided to come together and to celebrate some special women. And for that, we need the help of men, obviously. So we're going to get started with celebrating one very special lady. And I'm going to just say that, that we'll call it in memoriam. So I'm going to hand it over for one moment over to Ashkan, and I'm going to spotlight you, Ashkan, if that is okay. So that way you can be the one who's going to lead us for a moment in the next part of this.
And now that my background is underway, I will use this background.
So who would you like to celebrate today, Ashkan?
As you said beautifully today, it's not just today or this month's celebration of women. Honestly, and as I said earlier in a private roundtable, it's about honoring women, because even biblically, they have so much importance, and without them, really, there's no equality even in marriage, right? What are you going to do? San. The way that I like to look at women, I always remember my mom. She was the epitome of, grace, patience, persistent. She was an orphan at an early age, and she never complained about it, and came to Tehran from Mashhad, and joined a part of a family, and they took care of her nicely. And then later on, she never felt at home, and only when got married to my father was a decision she had to make. I'm just touching a little bit on her life. If there's a beautiful editorial by Michelle Wilson that is on Los Angeles Tribune, you can read about. She when she met my father, that was born blind, past blind, and he was a Sufi master. He was a mentalist. He had a lot of powers, but as far as physical, he never learned Braille or how to take care of himself. So my mother took care of him 24 hours a day for 46 years, especially when at the end when he was sick for 10, 15 years, you needed probably two people to take care of him, and my mom took care of him. And my mom, even though she had some health issues herself, she would never complain, never, every time with a big smile. And when I saw that and the way that she was treating me and my sister and everyone else, and strangers, always a big smile, always happy, always told me, Ashkan, you never worry. You always say hello first. Don't ever wait for anyone to say hello. You say hello first. Happiness, living life with all the challenges to the fullest per hour, sometimes per minute, per day, was some of her objectives. Her objective in life is to be the ultimate mother. She was the ultimate mompreneur, how we say with Michelle Wilson. And she was really a saint. I cannot tell you enough about her. But today, I'm not sad, because we get to celebrate her with all the other beautiful women. But one thing that I will tell you that I rarely tell anyone, if there were the 32 saints that you always said are around us per generations, for sure she was one of them. I can tell you stories at the end when a lot of people were part of it. Michelle, Axel, she was 3-4 years when my father passed at 7 years ago. I said, okay, maybe she has a couple of years. She was 75. She was 75. So she had some now good years and she was healthy. All of a sudden, she got Parkinson's, and within 1 year, she completely stopped moving. She became like almost frozen. And then COVID, the stuff I can tell you at the end, at different places. She passed 3 times, came back to life, and she went through so much. She couldn't eat at the end. She couldn't even move her head. A lot of stuff going on. But I would ask her, why would she take this? Because I'm guessing she was missing my father. Right? They were so together. Because you know what? When you come to me on COVID, I became a volunteer, so I can go. Right? I got lucky. When you come to me, those 5-10 minutes, I'm willing to take 3 days of my state just to see you for 10 minutes and spend 1 minute with you. So that's who my mom was. Leah Ahava is Leah Ahava, but Hishmat, we call it Lily. And it's just a beautiful thank you for celebrating her life with all of you. And it's going to be a legacy through us.
Yes.
Thank
That's
you so
beautiful,
much.
Ashkan. Thank you for sharing.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Beautifully said. And I think it'd be okay if we all just take a moment now and just remember Ashkan's mom, as well as any other woman that came before us and may no longer be here, that we want to honor and think about for a moment. Is that okay with everyone? Okay,
Yes.
let's do that just for a moment. Thank you. And Ashkan, I'm going to ask you a quick question. Did you want me to show that picture now or later, that one picture?
No, yeah, that picture is for now.
That is for now. Okay, so I will show this picture for a moment. And then did you want to add a few comments about
This
that?
picture is actually from my wonderful cousin, Rahlo, and she's a extremely gifted artist. And this picture is actually is in Arabic, and it's called Alhamdulillah, means hallelujah. And the reason she wanted to show this for celebration of all women, especially living, and also it's in memorandum of today is also the 27th of Ramadan, which is very special to our dear all our Muslim friends out there. So this is in Arabic, Alhamdulillah, and she's actually congratulations to Rahlo. She just became our corporate access partner, and you guys are going to hear more about her. Just a wonderful cousin to have. It's been she was always around, even when in New York, every day my mom would get a call from her. So wonderful cousin to celebrate all the women, my mom, and the living with her very exceptional, beautiful art. So that's for this moment.
Thank you. And if you're any way inclined the way that I am, and you start looking at this picture, a number of things will become visible to you. It's like one of those pictures that you see where you sometimes stand in a museum and it says, where is the elephant? But I do it differently. I just look at it and certain things come out if you look at an image like this, and that usually tends to be a message for us. So just something to remember as well. Thank you so much for sharing this beautiful image. And we are, of course, also live on Facebook. And I just need to say, for security reasons, we want to be sure that anybody in the room, please have your names listed. I believe you know how to do that. We need to know who you are. We know you all registered. We're very grateful that you did that. And for everybody out in the Facebook world right now, please also feel free to comment. All of these ladies and gentlemen are representations of you. You have people that you'd like to honor, that you'd like to celebrate, and that's exactly what we're planning to do here today. And having said that, I would like to right now, maybe Ashkan can help me as well, invite Chief Dr. Lester Bailey. And when I say invite, I mean I'm going to start highlighting him. And of course, for that, I will find him and I will fixate him in the middle because Dr. Lester Bailey, I got to learn so much about him during our Black History Month celebration. I still need to interview him for a 3 or 4 volume book. Yes, that's just a given. But he also volunteered to be the first to honor an amazing lady that we have in the room today. Dr. Chief Lester Bailey. I always forget where to put the chief.
You
I
can
also
always
want
put
to
it at the end.
at the end, okay, whatever. So I just want to thank you because you're doing a lot of work for Mandatorium 490210 Enterprise. I'm not sure if you're right now in Los Angeles or actually already in Niagara for the film festival. You're handling a lot of things right now, so I appreciate you taking the time. And I'm just going to hand it over to you so that you may introduce the first lady that we just want to give a special spotlight to.
First of all, I want to congratulate and honor every woman that is here and every woman that's in the world, because you all have given all of us real purpose. Let us see things through your eyes and help us to live through your eyes. And that's so amazing to me because I've had moms and aunties and sisters and grandmothers and so much more that have helped me in my career, in my life. But Miss Michele A. Wilson, I love me some Michele. I have to tell you all, I love Michele because I've had an opportunity to work with her on different projects, and Michele has been so phenomenal. She does it with a smile, and I don't know where she gets the energy from because she just becomes amazing. She's seemingly soft spoken, and she is just that person that you want to get to meet, someone who would encourage you through the things that she has done, but just in meeting her, she born in the month of May. Got that right. Because of me remembering you during all of this time. But I'm going to read this little short bio on Michele. Michele A. Wilson, a multi-passionate mompreneur, an enlightened leader, serves as Chief Operation Officer and Vice President of the 902 Enterprise, the premier business consultant specializing in corporation, personal, financial, real estate, fundraising, and media consulting. That's just a part of it. Michele is profoundly dedicated to empowering moms of special needs children who aspire to launch a purpose-driven business. She is a television host. She's an executive producer of the Mompreneur Conversation Show, a platform that can be viewed on Amazon Fire TV. Oh, this Michele's mission to expand beyond her business mentorship. She aims to be a source of inspiration for mothers juggling the responsibilities of caregiving and entrepreneurship. Through her show, she supports the moms in rediscovering their identities, redefining the balance means something to them, and achieving and fulfilling that life's purpose, encompassing both families, duty, and entrepreneur ambitions. Over 3 decades of entrepreneur experience, Michele has supported over 300 families in starting, protecting, and nurturing their ventures, providing and transforming coaching and business structure and time management production. Michele has raised 3 children, worked 2 jobs, attending college, and graduated from the University of Phoenix with her Bachelor's of Science degree in Business Management. She is also graduated from Ventura County Leadership Academy, which develops leaders to enhance the quality of their life in Ventura County. Yet, she's often says her real education comes from school of hard knocks. And I know everybody has gone to that school at least one time or another in their lifetime. Um, Growing up in Simi Valley, California, Michele has big dreams, dancing with her passion and aspiring to be a professional dancer. However, her dreams shifted dramatically at the age of 17 when she became a teen mom. Michelle's greatest challenge and triumph came from her youngest son, which was diagnosed with a rare medical condition of autism. She made this courageous decision to quit her job and start business from the hospital room, allowing her to be by his side during all of his diagnosis and treatments. She's also a two-time author, selling author, and an engaging speaker. Michele has significant contributions to the field of entrepreneurship, her role as a columnist in the Los Angeles Tribune, and her great contributions to the various magazines, outscoring her expertise and dedicating to inspiring others. Michele does more than just inspire others. She's also been around me for a long time, and she helped discover a Minology Academy. She has also done talks on, the Red Table Talks. If you remember when Jada Pickett having her Red Table Talks, well, Michele also had Red Table Heels. She's also been a part of meditation. Michele has done all of these things, even while taking care of her son. It's not to say that she's not taking care of her other children because they're still living lives as animals. Michele is that person that does again and again and again. And if you didn't catch on, again and again and again. And she still does it with love. She does it because she has an opportunity to inspire, to let someone know that you're not in it by yourself. Her motherpreneur idealism comes from who she really is in the mirror. So many people miss who the person is in the mirror, and they get so tied up with we call things. I think Goldie says, how do you do all of this stuff in no time? How is it possible? Well, she finds out everybody understands the word impossible. But the greatest thing about the word impossible doesn't mean it cannot be done. It just means it takes long. And Michele has taken the time to be her best at all times. So I have to honor her and just give her a big love and a big hug and say, thank you for all that you do over and over again, because I am awed by you. So that's what I have to say about Michele. Natalie, I'll give it back to you.
Well, thank you so much, Lester. And I just have one question really for you, Michele. Maybe two or three. When I say one, that's not true. But the first question that I have for you is very simple, I think. And that would be, how do you do it? How do you keep smiling and keep, as Lester said it, keep being loving and kind? What's
Wow.
your secret?
My secret. First, I just want to say thank you. And it's really an honor to be.
Uh-oh. Hold on.
Yep.
You're muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Great. Whew. Well, thank you, Lester, for that amazing introduction. I love you too. We've been working with you for several years, and I want to thank Ashkan because we've been working together, and Natalie, and just, oh gosh, Goldie, and I just met Astrid and Erin, and it's just amazing to be around so many amazing, powerful women and also men. And how do I do it? Because I get inspired by others. And truly, it comes from, growing up in a household where my mom and dad, they were the most amazing role models. They didn't really tell me what to do, they showed me what to do. And just really, it's from the love of God. I grew up with, Jesus in my heart, and just being that inspiration that he has given to me in my life. I've had a lot of struggles in my life, but it's all about being grateful and gratitude for the things that I do have. And I think at a very young age, I had a nun who actually kind of prophesies over me. And I was just thinking about it recently. She told me, I think I was, in my youth, probably like 9 or 10 years old. And she saw something in me that I didn't see in me. And that was, she said, you're going to be a leader and a speaker. And I didn't know that until years later, but through everything I just always had this passion of wanting to get improving myself 1% better. So I love personal development, spiritual development. And then I was a mom, I was a young mom at the age of 16, 17. So I always gave before I gave to myself. And I think it was just that over the years, I always, like Lester was saying, in my background, I was a teen mom, and I ended up, working 2 jobs, going to college, because of the sport of my mother and my father, they always believed in me. And they just taught me that nothing was impossible. And so I had that mindset, you put your mind to it, create those dreams and visions and just kind of go after it and just be thankful and grateful in that moment.
Just be thankful and grateful. Okay.
Yeah.
Last question for you. What is your biggest hope for you, for women, for the world for 2024?
For 2024, that's an amazing question, and thank you for that. And recently, over the last couple of years, I've really stepped in what I call my big purpose. Over the last 13 years, I've been a caregiver to my young son who was diagnosed at the age of 6 years old. He's 20. I'm thanking God every day. And through that journey, I've learned how to manage a business, be there full time for my son, and still be, have that grateful heart. So my passion is to help other mompreneurs or moms who are raising special needs children, because it is a full-time job. But, you want more fulfillment in life. So I believe that we can have it all as moms. We can be caregivers and mothers to our children, or to, even or a lot of caregivers to our parents, right? Or to other people in our lives. But we also want to be caregivers to ourselves. I know for me, I had passion and dreams, and I thought I had to give those up, just because I had to be there for my son, but I believe there's a way to have it all. So my passion is really to help and inspire other women, especially moms who are raising special needs children, who want to, venture into entrepreneurship, but don't really know how, because they're already juggling the responsibilities of a full life. And so my passion is just really being a resource for them, giving them hope and inspiration, and allowing them to fulfill their dreams.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Michele. Thank you for getting us started, and thank you from me to you also for everything that you do, because you are quite amazing in everything that you do. I just need to add that. And I love working with you. And today your hair is not blue, but I remember when it was in that one video, and I still miss that. I have to admit, I miss that. Thank you so much, Michele. And now we're going to move to the next person. And Ashkan, I'm going to just ask you to introduce Sir Samir Shamoun, please, and then he can introduce his lady of choice.
It's my pleasure. Samir has really became more than a friend. Started from, as I was saying, behind the scene, from getting Spectrum, coming in with his beautiful, warm smile. And in my old office, I had an area for my father that I used to just have his picture, and we used to just learn Bible. And he came in, he had a connection with my father. From there, it's been a strong partnership, friendship. Aside from being a wonderful businessman, he's an entrepreneur, he's also a wonderful coach. He does hypnotherapy, he does various form of healing. And the reason we love to have him part of our community is also an Access member. It comes his respect for women. As you can see, the big smile on him. You cannot miss it. There's certain warmness about him, and that's what sets him apart. When he comes to sit with you, he's very articulate. He's extremely good at public speaking. He's a gentleman. He's a wholesome gentleman.
Well, thank you, Ashkan. So I don't know if it's correct to say Samir or Shamir, but please first unmute yourself, and then please hold on. Okay, I cannot unmute you. No, I cannot. Okay, we have to somehow unmute you. Bitte Ton einschalten. Okay, earlier you were fine. Now I cannot hear you. Can anybody hear him? Is it just me? Can we like wave at him and say, yay? No, we can't hear you, unfortunately. No, not yet, not yet. Ton einschalten, yes, really. We will work on that for a moment, while, of course, the anticipation keeps growing. Who was he going to introduce? And if that does not work for the next second or two, we're just going to move to the next person first. So I think I'm going to move move our timetable around a little bit. No worries, Samir. We'll get back to you in just a moment. For some reason, we cannot hear you, so I'm going to unfixate you. Okay, we'll just do it that way. But we will get back with you because it worked earlier. But then again, technology, completely different story. I had that with a different program yesterday. So I am now going to bring in somebody, and I'm sure Ashkan is also going to want to say something. I'm going to bring in Regino, if I may. And this is also my savior for today. This young gentleman here coming to us live from Berlin, because he stepped in last minute to help me out. I've only met Regino, I don't know, 6 months ago or something.
Okay.
Yeah. So, you know, when we were talking about Depeche, Voice 8,
I
planning
gotta
a major
I gotta chime
event.
in here.
Yes. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I want to go for it. This
Yes. Okay.
gentleman, I just
Yes. Yeah.
no, no, as you were nicely bring him in, he's another one that has that warmth smile, and of course, we a big thank you to Astrid from Voice 8 and Depeche. You know, he's part of the executives there, and I had the pleasure of getting to know him every week, talking on Wednesdays with Astrid, and I cannot find one time I did not find him not to have that smile on. That, and you know, there's a serenity about him. There's something fine about him to be very calm. And it's our pleasure to have him on. I give it back to Natalie to jazz it up, and then I know she has something. There's something going on here that I want you to take over completely and bring it home.
Yes. And I can't say anything else. I love working with Regino, and I look forward to more of that. And since he's my savior for the day, I'm just going to let him take over and introduce the one lady who probably expects it's least. Go ahead, Regino.
I will. One more good evening, good afternoon. It's an honor and pleasure to be in here, definitely. And I have, for real, the pleasure to introduce a wonderful and inspiring woman. What the LA Tribune says about her: there are times when you come across a genuine human being ready to act where needed and highlighting needs when others look away. With a long history in the spotlight, Goldy Locks, public personality in wrestling, TV, music, and philanthropy, also has a long history of putting others into the spotlight. Goldy Locks can be called America's real every woman, and her multifaceted real life is prime fodder for endless entertainment and doing good. Only to name a few of her spotlights. With her own TLC series, she is helping families save big when they needed it the most. Besides supporting since decades many artists, bands, and groups, each week on podcast platforms, she is interviewing musical guests, pro athletics, entrepreneurs, health and wellness gurus, entertainers, and business owners, asking questions that help her audience to grow and concentrate on bettering their lives. Her group, the Goldy Lock brand, came together to advocate the prevention of crime against children, and in collaboration with huge named other musicians, got produced a compelling visual to help bring awareness to the National Abuse Hotline. As important icon in the campaign I Cancer, as a brand and movement to surround people only with positivity and reinforcement that they will and they can, her original Today I Won't Be Afraid has been used to raise thousands of dollars for the YWCA, Soul for Souls, and breast cancer prevention. Wow. With her school programs, in which she gives motivational talks to teens and tweens, she is urging them to pursue their dreams without fear and without falling to prey to drugs, alcohol, or something else. This multi-talented lady, she is doing it again and again and again. And especially in these times, as the new information, she does it once again. She was shining light on stereotypes that are here to be broken. People who deserves to feel beautiful and heroes in every life. Woman, to be precise. women who have undertaken this journey filled with hardship, heartbreak, experience that we do not wish to anyone, and have emerged shining brightly. I can say from my bottom of my heart, America's every woman, Goldy Locks.
Thank you, Regino.
Just to hear that in a German accent was like badass. That was really cool. So the reason that I'm crying is because somebody said like a lot of nice stuff about me. It's because I know all the time that it took for somebody to write that. Like that's like a lot of work. And I'm sure we all know who did that. The person that's like always cheerleading everybody, Dr. Forest, like, you know, and Michelle,
No,
the whole reason
I did not. He did.
you wrote that. I mean,
Regino
whoever
used your bio and he put it all
No,
together.
but I mean, like, that's a lot of work. Like, that's what I'm just saying. Like, everybody on this platform is, you know, like you said in the beginning, like what was said is just salt to the earth and people that care. And it's not about men or women or whatever. Like, that just, I appreciate like that it's a woman's day of recognition, but just all across the board, like just people of substance, you know, need to be, you know, recognized all the time just because there are the great people out there in the world and then there's the assholes. And it seems like we constantly are posting about the assholes and look at this and look at that. But I think Mo was talking, there was an article that he had a while ago just about make sure. Yeah, it was Mo. It was for the Los Angeles Tribune. And it was talking about your responsibility to share positive things. And it's easy to like show all the posts of people stumbling down the stairs and pooping their pants and whatnot. And that's funny stuff, but like, great, share your stuff, but make sure that you're putting out, you know, posts of quality and substance. A lot of people on LinkedIn seem to be on that ship where there's some really inspirational things that are being shared. Michelle and I connected right off the bat just because and the gala that you were speaking about on the 9th was a celebration of women over 40. It was an amazing portrait experience that we had where it was an exhibit of 40 women that I've shot their photos. And some of these women have never had hair and makeup done. They've never been acknowledged in their lives. Their stories are just tremendous abuse and, you know, bad stuff. We've got people that were coming out of an Amish community where they were sexually abused since they were 3 years old. And now they're allowed to have a photograph taken and they found me. And it was just like pure, what's the word I'm looking for? Dr. Forrest, you're great with words. You write a million books. Where you're free to do whatever. There's a word, exuberance, some kind of word in there.
Yeah, I mean, it is exuberant, I'm sure, yes.
Yeah, but there was more of a freeing word there. If somebody thinks of it, please let me know. Cut in. But
I'm
you know,
cut in for just one moment.
Oh yeah.
Because you're talking about everybody else again.
Yeah, cool. I'm
Okay.
gonna quiet.
No. I want you to
up.
tell us how you do it.
I
You do
will.
so
Hold
many
on.
things.
Let me make a point. I'm
Okay.
coming there. I'll make it quick. I was saying I connected with Michelle because, and at this gala, again, I tear up because I'm just emotional, whatever. Women, we know what time it is. You get emotional on things like that. Guys, be happy that you don't have this. That's why you guys make more money, but I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, but I'm not. But at the gala, I got emotional just because I like, and here's a message. Like, I haven't liked women my whole life. I've loved them, but I sure as hell haven't liked them. They've been pretty mean to me. And Michelle piped up one day on a post and said, like, I'll be your friend. You know, it's just like, that's what I feel like in this forum. Like, and even behind the scenes, Erin and I were talking and messaging and just complimenting each other and being kind. I think the reason that I do what I do, getting to it, the reason I'm able to do what I do is because even when I don't like somebody, I try to find the beauty in them and put myself in their shoes and feel inspired. Like the comments yesterday, there was a post. Oh my God, they were just like, go kill yourself. You're horrendous. You're ugly. You're old. You're washed up. And I was just like, I just had to laugh. Like, that's how I do it. Like, that's funny stuff. Like, I mean, and I just said, bro, like, I hope you find a date or get some business done or do whatever you need to do, because you're obviously like in a really bad state. So how I do it is how my mom did it. And much like our opening story of someone's beautiful, precious late mother, my mom made a joke out of everything. She laughed about everything, terminally ill most of her life, bad set of cards, a really bad set of cards, but everything was what can we, my dad used to say, your mother sees everything through rose colored glasses. And I'm like, yeah, dad, why not? Why not see things through? You can be real, but like try to really wear the glasses where you find the humor in everything. Because if you don't take yourself that seriously and you don't take the bad things in the world, like we have to stand up and do things for them and be there and be present. And there's a lot of issues that need to be addressed, but like try to, sounds crazy, but try to address them with some joy, because it can be really easy to just go down the spiral of what's going on in the world. And there's a lot of things that scare me and this and that, but try to find the joy in it. Try to find the humor in it. Humor is just such a gift that we need to celebrate more, because especially when you make fun of yourself. I mean, there's just so many funny things like that you can just wake up and say, like, that's legitimately funny. Like, I can't even listen to nice words and not cry. Like, that's funny. Stop crying. So I do what I do by finding joy in as much as I possibly can and finding the humor in it. And then when there is a Michelle, when there's an Erin, when there are people that are Natalie, anyone here, when somebody's being nice to you, and I tell the kids in motivational speaking, you pick your friends by who pick you, whether it's a bandmate or a work partner or a colleague or a lover or whatever. If somebody is not, if you're not their cup of tea, then just take the memo, read the room, and don't keep barking up their tree, and take your time and celebrate the people that are there for you. Who's liking your posts? You know, who's engaging? Who's got something nice to say? Are they a little out to lunch? Well, if they're my audience, probably yes. And I know y'all are watching, you know who you are. Again, humor, but really celebrate and acknowledge the people that are there for you. Mompreneur Michelle, I'm sure some of them, the advice that you give people that are just starting out is like, look for the people that are closest to you who are rallying for you. They might not be who you imagined. They might not be who you thought of growing up, like this would be my friend, or they would dress this way or speak this way, or, you know, maybe you're a Christian and they're as rough around the edges as they come. Like, then be a Christian and accept people for who they are and where they are. Be a good influence and a good role model and inspiration to them, but accept people for who they are and appreciate them. So thank you. That was really, again, that introduction was just like, holy balls. That was awesome. Thank you. And the German accent, over the top.
Well, I'm not going to let you go just yet, because I do have the same question that I just had for Michelle, for you as well, my dear. And that is, what is your biggest hope? You do so many things, and, you know, I'm a big admirer of your music. I know you travel everywhere. The things that you do that are nonprofit, that are helping others. I don't know how you find the humor in all the things that you see sometimes, but for 2024, what's your biggest hope for all of us, for the world, for yourself?
So I would say that, again, we tackle all of the things that need to be seen and worked on, but with all the work that we do with eye cancer, it's ICAN, and then the CER is crossed out. Like, the whole point of that is it's called Shirts in a Show, and we get a local business to sponsor like 40 shirts, and then we go into a cancer treatment center or a hospital and disperse those out and take pictures of everybody wearing these really bright, bold colored shirts. And we do a 45-minute, very gentle acoustic show for the people, kids or adults or whatever. Like, I've learned from them, like, cause I just think like, how are you doing this? And they're always like, and I don't get it. I don't get it. I hear this, but I'm not in that. So they always say I take things one day at a time. And my brain can't quite wrap around, like, what is that like when I know that you have a disease that there's no, like, especially the people that have it in their blood or their bones. And I'm like, how do you do this one day at a time thing? So if there's anything we can honor those people of all around the world that are dealing with that, who have the grace and the poise to take one day, if they can do one day at a time, then we should all be able to do that too with our problems and the things that ail us. So my hope is that, again, everybody just does a better job in the mental health space of just, you know what, do the best job that you can that day, find the joy, find the gratitude, like Michelle was saying. My hope is that people take it a little more easy on themselves, because it just seems like things were simpler. I mean, I'm not that old. Not that old, thank you. But when I was younger, it just seemed like it was a different world. And even like 10 years ago, and our kids, like what they have to, just the pressure, like but they seem to be okay with it. So take it easy on yourself. Try hard, hustle, kick some butt, but give yourself the same grace that, like, I see all of these people who are really terminal. Like, they're not gonna turn around. Like, if they can figure out a way to have a little bit of joy each day and gratitude, then that I sure should be able to, and so should we all. So that's my hope, is that people keep it real and stay focused on what needs to be focused on, if that makes any sense.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you, Goldie. I'm going to unpin you now. So
thank you for having me here today, everybody. I really appreciate this, Dr. Forest. And that German accent. I'm going back to that.
Regino's
Thank
awesome.
you.
Regino's awesome. Yes. You don't know what he's been going through all day today. So he just, withstood that as well. Thank you, Goldie. And this means right now we're sort of like halfway through, more or less. And I just want to remind everybody, you can also, those of you who are with us live in the Zoom room, you can connect with each other. Please do, share each other's contact information. That's what we do. We're building relationships. And if you want to mention some ladies, some women that have inspired you in our Zoom group, put them in the Zoom. And those who are on Facebook, please name them there as well, because there is power in voicing those things, whether it's in writing or whether it is by speaking them out. Okay, so I just want to point that out real quick. I want to welcome everybody else who joined us already here in the room and also on Facebook. And then we're going to, I think, try again. I don't know if it's going to work. Shamir, can you try and unmute? Okay, I'm going to try that, and I cannot hear him. Hold on. Nope, still, Ashkan, can you hear him? No, I cannot. Okay, we'll work on that. We will work on that. So I'm now going to introduce someone else. And please, as I always like to think to myself, I like to wear a mask whenever I see or hear this gentleman. And I'm very worried what he's seeing in me today, but sooner or later, he will hopefully tell me what he is seeing. I'm still waiting, but at the same time, I want to welcome Joseph McGuire. And I'm also sure that Ashkan is going to take over in a moment, but I want to welcome him because I also am very, very happy to have met this young gentleman who is facing the facts every day. He is working with us in 90210. I met him initially through the Advisory Legacy Council, and he is just an amazing human being. We talk about kindness here already in this group. And he is very kind, very soft-spoken, and he does so many things all at the same time. And like I said, I'm now going to move away because otherwise he's going to read my face, which I will find fascinating. Is there anything else you'd like to add to what I just said, dear Ashkan? Or did I do okay?
Of course, I'm going to compliment that. Because Sir Joseph McGuire was introduced to us by Lee Conway. Thanks to him and his wonderful community, warm community. And ever since, I want to say past 6 months, he has become again another wonderful partner, friend, confidant. And not because he can read my face, and also a wonderful, partner in 901 Enterprise. He's very warm. He has integrity. He has grace. That's what he has. And just when you're with him, he gives you a sense of serenity, right? And he, as you guys know, he is not just reading faces. You can read anybody's face, get a feeling about it. What he has given probably over 40 years to really master that art, and he actually uses it as a powerful thing. He has. It's a powerful tool. But he uses it actually always for positive. And I have never seen him, even when he wants to tell people about certain things that are a little bit harder to hear, he makes it still sweet. I don't know how he does that. One thing about him that makes him probably different than anybody else, I have never seen the patience, the tenacity, the bandwidth that he has with a lot of things that he does. And now with us, he has become the CCO, which is the Chief Communication Officer, and no one better because he's a communication specialist. And I just wanted to highlight a little bit more on top of that. We really pick all the people who are supposed to bring up these beautiful women. It's not just we want a future. It's really a big celebration. So we, Dr. Natalie, as you guys are going to go on Facebook and everywhere, I put a word called curated, like an art, like the art you saw. She didn't put this together because she can, but she really, like we were talking to her, how to match them. She really went beyond like a spiritual connection of who's going to represent who. If you know what work she has been put in this, and I was mostly not involved, who's going to bring who? That's why we even take a special emphasis of the person who's going to bring the beautiful ladies up. So that's on my side. Back to Dr. Natalie.
Well, not back to me. We're going to hand it right over to Sir Joseph.
Oh, okay.
And Sir Joseph, I like, you're like from the British Isles, to put it big. That's, yeah, I know. That's what it sounds like always. I know you're in the other direction, but still, it's like, I like to call you sir as well. I don't know why I like that. So who do you have that you would like to introduce to us?
Well, thank you, Natalie. It's very kind of you and Ashkan, and I can assure you, Natalie, your halo is glowing. I'm honored, privileged to be here. The lady I'm about to speak about, I haven't had the pleasure of meeting in person yet. In fact, we haven't actually spoken yet, but I'm learning about her virtually. I'm seeing her presentation on live and how she presents herself. And she presents herself with great grace, great elegance, wonderful, what I've described as a very, not just clear, but clean spirit. And that's something that certainly impacts hugely on me when I meet somebody with those qualities. For any of us men here, it's beyond, we use the word blessing frequently, but it's actually beyond a blessing to be here, because we are graced with not just the beauty in terms of any kind of physical beauty, but the beautiful presence of so many wonderful women here, and so many wonderful women in our lives in so many areas. And so much of the strength we get is from the women, mothers, sisters, partners, wives, etc., daughters. And it's a daily blessing for us. So for me to get to present about my honorary niece is quite a blessing and a privilege. So I'm here to speak about the wonderful Erin, and because I haven't had the pleasure of meeting in person yet or speaking directly, I will read from her bio, but then I will add some of my own personal comments. So the first comment is actually my own personal one. Erin is the red-haired Irish queen. That's how I see her. And red hair has particular significance on this funny little island I live on. It's a sign of fire. It's a sign of passion. It's a sign of drive, and it's a sign of somebody who's not going to be bound by convention. And Erin is somebody who is not going to be bound by the conventional rules. She has a vision. She has a passion for life that extends way beyond any conventional rules. So again, so inspiring. But I'm going to read now from her bio, and then again add some more personal comments. So Erin is the CEO of Bella Vita Global. She's the founder of Bella Vita Global, Bella Vita Magazine, and Bella Vita Santa Barbara Luxury Skincare. She was born in a small town in Massachusetts and moved to bustling Las Vegas with her family when she was very young. Her parents gave her a strong spiritual Catholic background and were both service-minded to others. And you can see that permeates right through how Erin is in the world, how she presents herself. That sense of service is so embedded in who she is and how she is. She traveled and lived all around the United States after college, working in Boston, Portland, Los Angeles, San Diego, Santa Barbara, Manhattan Beach, Westlake Village, and Las Vegas. As a child, Erin studied ballet and dreamed of dancing on Broadway, but her parents encouraged her to follow a safer route, so she studied psychology, English literature, and writing. and eventually went to graduate school to get a master's degree to become a speech language pathologist, working with children with special needs. It's also something that touches my heart, my soul deeply, because my younger sister has Down syndrome. So again, it's one of those things that resonates so deeply. Erin also has her own daughter with moderate autism. Erin had an entrepreneurial spirit and always loved fashion and beauty. So she started a vintage and modern clothing store on eBay when it first launched. After meeting her husband, Brady Schmidt, Erin became a Series 65 investment advisor and insurance licensed financial advisor. However, her passion has always been entrepreneurship. She has created several fashion brands and then started her beauty and skincare company, Bella Vita Santa Barbara, in 2019. She is now an organic skincare formulator and has formulated luxurious, clean, and sustainable skincare that has won over 12 awards between 2023 and 2024 alone. Again, massive achievement. Since 2019, Erin envisioned a company that would touch people's lives on a deeper level than just skin deep in skincare, but to truly help them feel beautiful and love themselves despite their perfect imperfections. Wonderful description. And to create peace, love, and harmony in themselves and in the world. And Bella Vita Global is the culmination of that vision. Now, I would suggest you think about the word culmination, because you are nowhere near the culmination of your vision, Erin. Your vision is way beyond that. What you've already created is, again, beyond substantial. The achievements you've got, the route you've taken, you've gathered. And by my standards, you're still so young. But at this young age, you've already achieved so much. But the different experiences you've had have given you wisdom. Wisdom to add to your heart, to the spirit, the soul you bring to life. And that is only going to grow and develop. And all you need to do with that is just be at ease with yourself, because it's going to flow through you, it's going to flow to you, and it's going to flow from you. And it's already doing that at a massive level. But culmination is the wrong word, because the quality you bring to not just business, but life is quite transcendent. And it ain't over yet, but not by a long way. You're on course, but so much more to come. I don't do fortune telling, but I can guarantee you that.
Wow. You're working overtime to make me cry too. Right there with you, Goldy. Woo. Wow. Thank you, Sir Joseph. That was beautiful. And it means a lot coming from you, living on my ancestral island that I have yet to visit, but we already feel like we've got family. I do have family on the island, but we have more family having met you. So thank you so much. That was beautiful.
My blessing. Thank you.
We can't hear you, Natalie.
Thank you. Yes, it's my job to make everybody cry or laugh, depending.
I know. I was holding it back.
No,
Barely.
don't hold back. It's important to let emotions out, especially when you have beautiful skin like you do. You know, that's also important. So tell us, I mean, Sir Joseph just mentioned a number of things about you. And of course, the Bella Vita magazine is just astonishing. I keep looking at it, and you know, I follow you on Instagram. However, at the same time, how did you get to where you are? Because it's not just about, yay, I'm top of the hill, or I'm like halfway on the hill. How did you get here? What's your journey like?
Well, how long you got? There's a lot.
30 seconds.
Just kidding. Wow. So again, I grew up in kind of a crazy place, Las Vegas, but yet my parents were determined to give me a very spiritual and grounded upbringing, despite being, you know, what most people would call, you know, Sin City.
Yeah.
You know, I am in the 5th year of my company, Bella Vita Santa Barbara. As I mentioned to Sir Joseph, and I'm going to try not to cry, 5 years ago, my dad died very tragically while I was in the middle of getting ready to launch my company. And I made the decision to launch on his birthday 4 months later, which is April 4th. So our 5-year anniversary that's coming is a very special anniversary. And, you know, I have to say every anniversary is mixed with a little bit of bittersweetness because of that, but it's also in honor of his life. And I honor my mother's life. My mom was a Catholic nun. My dad was a Catholic brother, and incredibly spiritual. My dad had a master's degree in theology, so I know a lot about, you know, religion, the Bible, but also very open-minded. So very accepting and loving of other people. And my parents dedicated their lives to service, not just in the church, but my mom sang in our church choir since the time we first were in the choir, you know, in that church when we moved to Las Vegas, so over 30 years. And they ran a group home for boys that had behavioral disturbances. And so they really, and that was part of Boys Town. If you know Boys Town, it was dedicated to children that were struggling. And they had the motto where the boy is, a young man is carrying his brother, and somebody says to him, "How are you carrying him?" He says that he ain't heavy, he's my brother. And you know, that is really the summation of when you dedicate your life to helping in service of others, as a lot of you have done here in this program. That transcends us being at the head of things. So I have a hard time with people saying, "Oh, you're so great," and all this stuff. It's like, you know, I give glory to God, and, you know, I wouldn't be here without him and without my parents. So yeah, I've worn a lot of hats, probably because I have ADD. I think I just have done a lot of things in my life, and I get bored and then I try something else. And so now I'm expanding because of Ashkan. I'm very thankful to have met Ashkan and his amazing team, Sir Joseph, Natalie, Michele. I'm just getting to know Miss Astrid, and Goldy is fabulous. I can't wait to get to know her more too. So I'm just very grateful. I feel very, very blessed. And I would be remiss if I didn't also say I am where I am because my husband has supported my dreams. He is an incredible person. He's an incredible man, incredible father to my daughter, who is not his daughter. And he knew nothing about autism when he met her. So thank you, Brady. I love you so much. And I'm going to stop there.
Well, thank you. You might stop there, but, you know, I won't let you stop just yet. So, and I want to thank you because, yeah, as a historian by trade, I always find it interesting when we focus on one group and forget that they need the support of others. And you know, Ashkan, of course, mentioned it. We have all these gentlemen here. And then you just also took the time to mention your husband. Because, you know, whoever the group in power or whatever is, you know, we need to help each other. It's not about one versus the other. It's about all of us together. And I think that's what you illustrate with your story. And what, you know, this group, of course, demonstrates as well. So with your magazine taking off, with your skincare taking off even more, with you are further expanding than you anticipated, according to Sir Joseph, and I can second that. What is your biggest dream? Your not for the world. I really want to know your biggest dream for this year, for the remainder of this year. What's your biggest dream?
Wow. Well, my dreams are bigger than just this year. They're going to take longer than 1 year to accomplish. And I've said that in several interviews that one of the biggest things is that we have to have a vision far beyond ourselves and you know, like people say, what's your 10-year plan? Well, you know, it might not take 10 years to accomplish, but my goal is to you know, take the magazine on an international level. It kind of already is because it's also a digital magazine. I have people throughout the world that read it. And also with my skincare, that is also international. I have lots of fans in Hong Kong, Macau, Australia. We're expanding to Europe and UK more. If we can get past all their really stringent regulations. And yeah, I just, but the ultimate goal in all of this is to also make sure that I'm leaving a legacy behind for my family, especially my daughter, who, you know, she'll need that support for her whole life. And Michelle can relate that that's a scary proposition when you're a mom, that you care so much about your children. You want to make sure that their life continues in the most positive way after you're gone. So that's my main goal. And yeah, I'm laying the groundwork for that. And Ashkan and my husband have been so instrumental behind the scenes in helping me to accomplish that.
Wow.
And it clearly demonstrates once again why you and why a lot of the other ladies are here, because even when I say, what is your dream, you're talking about others. You're talking about your daughter. Goldie is talking about everybody. It's like, oh my God, Michelle was talking about helping younger women. It's like, okay. So I think we all need to work on us a little bit as well. Thank you so much, Erin. I'm beyond excited. I hope to meet you soon in person. And
I do
can't
want to,
wait.
yeah, I do want to, because I'm like, usually guys, you know, I like to talk. I've been so quiet. I guess like last time, the other conference we had was about men, right? And today it was like, what are you guys doing? You know, Goldie with her being direct, badass, but so how do you become a badass so sweet though? Beautiful, you know. And Michelle, you know, I could just cry about it, you know, all the things you said. And you know, and Erin, I want to say she's humble. She has committed, first of all, congratulations for her and her husband to become a corporate partner with us. And they're not just doing their homework, they're taking Sundays, they bring their daughter with them. The level of tenacity, she calls it PPT, patience, persistency, and tenacity, right? So it's a new, I guess it's a new thing I'm going to be teaching. And they live it. You know, the past 6 to 8 weeks, they have done a work of a equal, and they're busy. They got stuff going on with Brady. I wanted to say that if you want to, so if you put your mind to it, they have done a work of 3 years worth of work to get their brand where it's supposed to be, Bella Vida. 3 years in 6 to 8 weeks. And then you still see her. I cannot talk about the cover magazine. That's a surprise. And again, she comes this morning with a smile. So I want to really, really emphasize and celebrate her and give a big kudos to her and him, Brady behind the scene right there. And again, you know, it's with a full-time job as a mompreneur that as they are, they're both. I needed to give you that. Wow, you make me inspire, by the way, right? You make me inspire, and thank you. So I just send it back to our wonderful hostess.
Thank you. Thank you, Erin.
Love you,
Yeah.
Ashkan. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. And that smile is just, yes. Ah, okay, I want to move us forward a little bit. And before we go to the next presenter and guest, I did ask everybody if you had somebody you wanted to honor to please mention that. And Jeff actually did put in the chat here that he wanted to honor his client, and I might mispronounce her name, Sela Rogers, who's apparently 69 years old. And she also works very hard and very strong to get better every day. So I did want to acknowledge that. I also want to acknowledge a dear friend of mine, and I believe also of Ashkan's, who is with us on Facebook Live, and that is an amazing lady. Her name is Dr. Adrienne Lara. She's an amazing person in her own right, also a giver in her own right. So I just want to acknowledge that. And of course, we've got representation of G100 here as well. And then I do want to move. I see unmuted. I do now want to hand it over to Samir, who is going to help us introduce the next lady. Please, Samir, take it away.
Hello, hello, hello. Can you hear me now?
Perfect.
Yes, thank God for that. Sorry, I think maybe it was my fault. I just couldn't unmute myself. I don't know what was wrong, so I apologize for not being able to jump when I was called upon. This is an honor for me. I've met Ashkan a few years ago on South Beverly Drive, and I met this gentleman. He seemed like an angel. It's like he seemed that he's not from this realm. I asked Ashkan, who's this guy? He said, that's my dad. Could I meet him? I met him, and I got to tell you something. I fell in love with the energy and the spirit of that man. If you haven't met him, too bad. I met him. I'm lucky. If you met him, then you know what I'm talking about. So Ashkan is an apple that didn't fall far from the tree. I just wanted to share that. And for the ladies that spoke, you are really inspirational. I feel the love. Michele, Erin, and Goldy, there's so much love. And I think I missed somebody. There's so much love. And I think this is what life is about. So now, talking about Astrid Arens, I looked everywhere to get information about this lady. And finally, I found all the information, all the good information. So there's a website that says Astrid Arens, the visionary. Astrid Arens is a visionary by conviction. She swims against the current. Her slogan is, anything possible. Anything is possible. Live your life like you visualize it. Success will arrive. And then she says, let's go. This lady is a fighter. She's a trooper. And she's a go-getter. Hardly any other German entrepreneur is connected in the national business world with such a creative art of persuasion like Astrid Arens. She's a guru and a visionary with the penchant of madness. Her thoughts and actions are often described as unrealistic and kind of crazy. And those attributes Astrid Arens never tries to deny. Let's talk about authenticity. But who is in fact this woman? She's a linguistic performer. She's a rebel. I said that a little bit earlier. A creative, innovative perfectionist of speech who has significantly influenced sales figures of major international global acting companies for many years. There's too much to read about this lady, but I want to say here, this will not work if it is unacceptable. Yes, I can. Anything is possible. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Everything was made through God. This, without it, nothing becomes what it is. In him was life. This is from John, verse 1, chapter 1. I was really impressed and moved by seeing this because nowadays you don't talk about the Bible or God, but I'm very impressed with this. Words are magic, and with magic, anything's possible. With her passion for language and authentic persuasion, she characterizes until today the negotiations culture of companies and entrepreneurships on different continents. There's so much written. I was moved when I read all these things. I got so excited. It's like a friend of mine was being, talked about in the Beverly Hills News. But there's more to this lady. I found out that she likes to ride her Harley. She parachutes from a good flying plane. She likes to scuba dive, and she does a river, what do you call it? She's amazing. It's my pleasure to introduce Astrid Arens. Go ahead.
Wow. Wow. Astrid. I did
Thank
not know
you
half
very
those things.
much.
You're welcome. You're really amazing. I want you to know that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wow.
Ooh.
What do you say to that, Astrid?
No, I like it. It's wonderful. Thank you, Samir.
Folks, just so that you know, I did not even read half of what was said about her. It's really very long. She has so many attributes. By the way, she was just recently given an award from the White House.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Hey, I could say, somebody got an award from the White House now, huh?
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah. And I'm not sure if it's me. It looks like Astrid is frozen for a second. Is it me or is everybody seeing?
No. She's not
I
frozen.
can hear you. I
Okay,
can
all good,
see you.
all good, all
Things are
good. Then, Astrid,
Yes.
you just had this introduction. You just received not one, but two, no, 3 awards while you were in New York.
Yes.
So this year is already moving and moving and moving. How do you do what you do? Who is supporting you? How do you keep going and going?
Yes, that's a good question. Thank you, Natalie. Yes, I will describe it a little bit. Yes, I come out of a little town in Germany. This a very small town, yes. And my parents every time say to me, I have made one education, and my father say to me, it's enough for you. Yes, go work. Yes, and my brother was pushed. Yes, in all things. And I say to my father, no, I don't want it. I will learn a little bit more, and then I will go my way. The result was that we don't speak 2 years together because he don't like this way. And after a time, we see us, he come back to me and say to me, he's proud of me that I go my way. And this is a very, this is a kind from me, yes. I go, and when I fall down, I stand up. And in Germany, we say, please, Regino, please help me, yeah. Die Krone richtig, die richtig setzen, yes. When you fall down, the crown fall down, now you go on the head, do it, right? And then you go.
Yes,
Yeah,
you put it
fix
a
your-
little bit and fix it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Make-
Yes.
And then goes forward.
The next one, yes. Please look forward. And my life, it is so that I live now just in time. I believe on the future. Now I make the base for the future. And out of the past, I learn many out of the past. And I have made many mistakes. Yes, and I must pay a lot of money for decisions which are not so good. But I have learned so much from my life, yes, and this is my inspiring to go forward, yes. My family, my children, yes. I love to communicate with people, yes, and I like it to find the pearls in a beach with many sand. The pearl is also Ashkan, Regino, Natalie, yeah, Irene, Michele, yes. You are all pearls in my life, yes. And it is so nice to meet you. And for me, it is important to speak with such people which make great things, yes. I don't think about the details, yes. I think about the way. I think about my vision. All things come together when the time is right. I know Ashkan. Ashkan tell it to me. We know us 8 years, yes, but last year the time was good for a good conversation, for an exchange, and now we work together, and I'm totally happy that we have found a way together. For me, it is very important to live diversity. I don't think about diversity because all people are lovely people. I love the people and I will communicate with people. I love communication. I love networking, yes, to hear stories about the people around me, yes. And that is also the reason because I was in New York in the last week. When it is okay, I will tell you a little bit about it. Yes, because I was a part of the Black community, Blackwoods. Yes, and I like to work with the Black community. Yes, because the stories behind these people inspire me. Yes, and I will work with these people. I will do good things, and my passion is to create chances for every man or woman in the world. Yes, to create. What? All things are good?
Yeah, everything's good.
I
Just
have
some
here
background noise.
a voice.
Yeah, just in the background. Yeah.
Okay,
All good.
okay,
Thank you.
okay, okay. So that is my task. Yes, to see chances, to help people. Yes, to create his own chances. Yes, and so everybody has a possibility to create his own life. And last week, I have spoken to the UN. Yes, I have worked with the African Women's of Leadership Organization. I have worked with the Black community, Black IM community. Yes, and we do so great things last week. And I believe that we have changed the world a little bit in this week.
Wow.
And the ceremony was so great, yes. And I'm so happy that I have the possibility as a German woman to get, yes, this wonderful Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award for my engagement, for my person. And I'm also happy to say now, yes, I get also the Presidential Business Lifetime Achievement Award for the for Depeche, for the digital platform for environment, sustainability, and humanity. Yeah. And all things, it is unbelievable. I'm totally happy, thankful to all people which say, yes, I believe on you, on your vision. And yes, it is the universe, yes, show me the way, what I do. And yes, this is that what I want. My greatest hope for this year, I say it also, is to go this way, to find people that I can work together, and we together change the world and make the difference together.
Mm. Beautiful to make the difference together. I do want to ask you about one additional item. You sort of hinted at it. So you, of course, you have Voice Aid and Depeche, and you just
Yes.
mentioned you've just been to the United States. You worked with some of the African American, the Black
Yes.
groups there. There's another organization and another continent that you are already very involved in, which is to the south of us here in Europe. Can you tell a little bit about the work that you do with, that many of us do also with Africa and Depeche and the AWOL?
Yes, yes, I can do it. We have recognized Voice Aid Africa in Abuja, Nigeria. Yes, it goes around Africa, and we want to we want to create a communication between schools, companies, and government. This is the task, yes. We have in the Depeche an international knowledge database for living sustainability. So all we have all schools. A great wish from the government in Africa is that the schools know the knowledge about living sustainability, about environment, about waste, about plastic, yes? And they come to us and say, when it is possible for you to go with this knowledge into schools, so teach teachers and children, yes? So we can close the knowledge which isn't there. And in the other way, we train companies to be more sustainable. Yes, we develop checklists. Yes, we speak with the companies. We have questions, sustainable questions, and talk with the companies. Make a status quo. Yes, and then we can say you can work on this, on this, on this. And so the government has the possibility to go in contact with sustainable companies, for example, renewable energies. Yes, that is a very great part of Depeche Africa. And so all things come together. Yes, one step is also that we honor sustainable companies and that we honor social heroes with the right heart, with the right passion, yes, to change the world with us. And this is a whole, like a puzzle, yes?
Mm-hmm.
We have one, all things come together, and this is the work.
Beautiful.
That you do.
It takes a lot of energy, I'm
Yes.
sure, to do all that. And of course, Regino is helping you a little bit, and
Yes.
you're expanding to the United States. And sustainability is more than recycling. Sustainability is what Erin does with good,
Yes.
good materials, resources for her magazine, as well as for her skincare. It's also what Goldy does when she helps people live longer, okay, when they're happier. And of course, what Michele does when she helps train others. And I'm sure that Sue and Raina and Jennifer, they're also all contributing to what we do. Thank you so much, Astrid. Congratulations again to 3 awards,
Thank you.
all in
Thank
one.
you.
Wow.
Natalie,
Yes.
give me the chance to
Yes.
say that the system with the Depeche, yes, is also in USA, yes. we started in cooperation with 90210 Enterprise, yes. And I want to have the information complete. Yes, we work with Africa, we work with USA, we work with Europe, and I'm proud of you, Natalie and Ashkan, that we work together. And yes, let us do together many things. Let us change the world together. Let us make the difference. Let's rock the planet. Yes, all the things which we need for a better future.
I like that.
I need to chime in here. This is like, wow, perfect timing. I started a group for my mother, and this has nothing to do with our other smaller groups or bigger communities on WhatsApp or Facebook or LinkedIn. It's just something I did because of my mom. And it's funny that the name of it is called the Rule Breakers, and it's in a positive notation. And in that group are some of the ladies, of course, Natalie. I came up with the name because of her, the revolutionary rule breaker. And my mom was also, because sometimes they don't know the adjective, but they're just breaking all the rules that has been said, like Michelle, right? So Michelle is in it, Natalie is in there. I know Astrid is in there, and then Erin and some of you guys are just meeting in some of our conferences. But what I want to emphasize is Astrid, honestly, I didn't know. I mean, I read your bio and I heard so much about you, and I know you personally. I didn't know. I don't know where Samir got all those information that I didn't know you parachute and you you're like a rule breakers. I see you now on a Harley Davidson, right? I see that image, and that's why, like, I know Astrid very much. In the past 1 year, especially 6 months, we have spent over 100 hours. And yes, you heard it because you said it. I'm just going to emphasize on it. I'm going to have a press release on it. You heard it today. It is official that we have a pleasure of having Nano Tuano Enterprise, not just myself and Natalie, the whole team, to be officially part of Deepesh USA. And it's really about educating and also celebrating people, companies, and organizations that are in line with sustainability. And California is probably one of the maker for it. And you heard it here today, officially first, and there's going to be a press release going out. And I chose Natalie to be the liaison and the lead for our company to bring that into USA, as she's also aboard with them with Voice State as well. So I did want to emphasize and celebrate this. Let me use a emoji. I love emojis. Emojis of this emoji reaction. Boom. So I want to celebrate that. And again, Astrid, honestly, your background, your layers of it's not mistakes. In life, we have challenges. We rise above the challenges, and sometimes we set certain goals that it doesn't work, but it doesn't mean it's a mistake. Everything that we do, sometimes you make a right decision, and you're like so German. You calculate, you look at everything, and then guess what goes wrong? Goes wrong is just according to our expectations. All about expectation, and then you make a decision that everybody said was a mistake, and guess what? Becomes so right becomes wrong becomes right. So at the end of the day, it's how you go through it, through the process. Yes, when it's business, the end goal is important. If you want to make certain money, you want to close that real estate deal, absolutely. Okay, but aside from that, as important and sometimes more important is the process that you go through, the people you meet in those stations, the opportunities that comes your way, the challenges and the lessons you learn. That I'm so about that. I'm so about the journey. I'm so, I have a real estate deal that we never, it's still ongoing for 5-6 years. We never finished it. But if I tell you how many people, because I'm conscious about it, the difference is you need to be conscious about it. Like how Astrid said, I went through this and I done that, and I lost the money, but she was conscious not just to learn the lesson, so at the end of the day, when you take your innate abilities that you have and you put it to good use, and also your skills that you acquired because of your choices, whether as corporate entrepreneur, and then also you incorporate the skills that you have actually learn because of your challenges, that you rise above and you put all that together. It becomes today, because you see a lot of people that they are not masters or necessarily expert of what they do anymore. They are what they do. And this is a big thing with Nanaton Enterprise. We like to showcase people that are living what they do, and necessarily is not what they make money on, what they preach, what they teach, what they're example of. You watch them, oh my God, Michele, she's the mompreneur, walking mompreneur, right? You see Natalie, each one of them, as you can see today. I just wanted to come in and celebrate that, because it was an amazing way to not complete to bring all this together. And Natalie, the way you put things together, again, I call you the curator today, curator, just so you know. And yes, I did post it on Facebook, and I put a nice poem for all of you on Facebook Live already. I did all that. Why? Because it matters now. Even though we are here, I wanted to celebrate you guys now there. So now back to our wonderful hostess.
Well, thank you, Ashkan. Thank you, everybody. Just a quick reminder, please share your information. We are almost at the end for today, but as Ashkan mentioned, we do have a little bit of a surprise here at the end. And the best way for me to say that while I'm trying to lead into it, and I'm sure at some point Ashkan is going to come in while I'm talking, which is perfect because we substitute each other that way. But I believe it is fitting that at this point, at the end of a celebration of all these amazing ladies here, we have considered the impact we all make, the impact we make as mothers, the impact we make as teachers, the impact we make as entrepreneurs, as leaders, as sisters, you name it. I think we had about everything mentioned. And in the end, it's really the impact also that we have when we just live our legacy, as Astrid, for example, said, and when we just do what we feel is right, when we're being guided by whatever we may believe in. And you may recall that there was a young lady in a far distant country from where most of us are right now. And I want to say a few months ago, so it's been a little longer than that. It has not been a few months, but it feels like a few months. This young lady also stood up for herself. And with her actions, she inspired a movement in a country, if I'm not mistaken. And then when we see that, even though, as Astrid said, we changed a little bit of the world just by being in New York and collaborating and talking, the ripple effects of one action can be so important. And again, whether that is as a mother, as a housewife, as a singer, as an entrepreneur, it doesn't really matter, but just living your legacy. And so then we have my dear Ashkan, who suddenly says, ooh, I've got something special. I have this connection that I also want you to know about. And when he said that, he then suddenly comes up with something that I had happened to see actually on, I believe it was LinkedIn when he mentioned it. And I liked it, because it was really, really good and important. And I actually did a little bit of research on it. And to give you an idea of what I'm talking about, I'm going to
One second
show
on that, just 1 second. I want
Yep.
to add something.
Of course
Okay, you
do.
can have that on. No, you can have it on. Actually, it's even better.
Yeah.
For me, because I'm Persian, I was born in Iran, and Iran is not just a new country. It's over 5,000 years of heritage and culture. Once when we had our first democratic king, King Cyrus, the first person to ride the cylinder, Iran was 127 countries, all from Egypt all the way to Africa and to China. And he actually, even though he was the king, he allowed all these provinces to keep their own language and their way of life and religion, right? And he was the one actually allowed he wrote with his father and his grandfather, they allowed the Jews to go back and build the second temple. But that being said, there was, just because I wanted to bring this home, Zina Amini was just a beautiful lady from the north, and she wanted to visit Tehran. And that's all she wanted to do. She was not political. She was just a beautiful lady that wanted to visit Tehran and see the beautiful city. And then, unfortunately, because her hijab, or what we call the scarf, was not in a perfect setting, the authorities just grabbed her and put her in the car, and they beat her. They beat her up in a bad way, and when she went to hospital, and again, she wasn't political at all. And then she had the hemorrhage, and she died. And the authorities tried to tell the doctors, now you're going to write this what happened, and she has a condition. And the doctor said, I will not. And the main doctor quit. So did the rest. And that's how, again, in Iran, women, there's no women right, of course, and that's why a lot of us are here. There are about 1 million Iranians, I think, that are in America, and God knows how many in Europe. And she know what she did? She started not just a revolution, a movement, right? And it almost changed the revolution, changed the country almost, right? And throughout the world, it made everyone to kind of, in her honor, they call it woman freedom and liberty. So like in Farsi has different words, it's just more rhymes. And I was watching Mr. Farzand Delju, what you're gonna see. He created a documentary, like a narration, and we were invited, thanks to Dr. Olympia and Natural Enterprise, to be part of the international launch in Beverly Hills. And really, it was actually a perfect time because it was spring. It was my mom's birthday. It was, that's why we are honoring her today. It was the Women Month, right? It was, there's so much going on. And when I attended this movie premiere, the whole audience was probably 300-400 of the, some of the dignitaries, a lot of Persian media, and everybody were crying. Because the way that Mr. Fazan Derju, for over 40 years, he has been in filmmaking, but this, I told him, this is not another film. You took, and it's not political, you took the life of this beautiful lady that started this movement all over the world, right? And I don't know what to tell you about it, this film, when you're going to watch. It's called Zina, that's her name. And I mean, it was her last name. I'm sure you guys were part of that, those, what happened. A lot of people got killed. And to this day, Iran is not the same. The women actually have more rights. And now the mullahs or the government, they are scared of them. They are not, so they go outside, they're more comfortable. They did get some freedom, which is, for a country like that, it was a sacrifice of Zina. So I wanted to make sure today was very, Mr. Farzam was very appreciative, thankful. He couldn't make it here to celebrate with you guys, but we're gonna have more stuff with him. And I wanted Natalie to actually, because who is representing Natalie? So there's the surprise, right? So all of us here, it's supposed to be, I'm supposed to be the host, right? And then all the men supposed to be featuring and respecting and edifying women. And then who's doing Natalie, right? That's fine, right? And I thought it could be not a better timing at the end, when we also want to celebrate Jennifer Randive, our wonderful head of Oneness and Wisdom from G100, and Reina Calvo, that we did films together. She's a very close friend of mine. I want to celebrate them. I know Elzan was here earlier, and some other lady, Sue. Oh yeah, Sue Fraser, my wonderful new friend, and I cannot wait to meet your partner through Tommy. So it's about you guys too, right? And also the other men that were here. But not at the end, but to celebrate, I want to celebrate the queen of the day, the hostess, the revolutionary rule breaker, 2-3-time bestseller, mystical, spiritual, physical coach. She's a historian, a real teacher, a journalist, right? A writer. And yeah, at the end of the day, like all of you guys, a beautiful mother, right? And a daughter. She went back to Germany to take care of her mother. And you have to see, when we talk every day, what she's doing for her daughter. Like, she likes to keep that family private, like Erin, but that's fine. But I know, like, every day what she's doing for her daughter. So this is also about you, Natalie, because not fair is for women. I know you are the curator and you did a great job, by the way. Let's give a big round of applause for everything that she did for us today. And she's the main producer. There's no co-producer. She did it single-handedly. She sent us all the notes. She's so good with that. I love to delegate. And when somebody's better than you in something, let them do it. Let them shine. And this happens today. The magic will happen. This is not another conference, not another Zoom. This was again, I felt holy. It was very sacred. It was beyond time and limitation. And we want to celebrate the revolutionary rule breaker, and this, the legacy of Zina is going to be living through all the women and all the men that will pursue and continue to expand social justice, equity, right, for all women, and not just in every area of business, but also in life, wherever they go. Because when you do that, guess what? Then you can win. If you don't do that, you cannot win. So as I always say, W-O men. How do you say W? Win, O, were men. And no wonder that men is actually inside women. It's very important to understand. It's very holistic. It's part of yin yang. And for men, I give you guys a secret. I give you advice. If you want to be successful in your endeavor, in your business, guess what? Give the power in your business to the C-level that can handle better than you to women. And that you see what will happen. And that's my advice. And now this is actually for you, Natalie. I know I told you about it, but the surprise you didn't know. This particular what you're going to showcase is to respect you, to celebrate you. You are very grandiose, and we really love you. We honor you, and thank you for being wonderful VP of media, and also at the end of the day, just Natalie, simple Natalie. Okay.
Yes, just Natalie. Thank you, Ashkan. I'll take that as my cue to show the video. Okay.
Yeah, see, I told you she's better than this. Yes, please show the video.
Thank you so much. It should only take a moment. There we go. I hope you can all hear it.
اومدم تو جون من زندگی میکنه بیشترم
کارتون تمومه.
That the 2023 Sakharov Prize for Freedom of Thought has been awarded to Gina Mahsa Amini.
شما دست منو بکن اول ببینم منو کجا میخوای برو تو دست کسی بده به من نزن تو خفه شو دستک بلش کنی
اینو چرا آوردین اینجا چیکار کرده برد آقا
من حالم خوب نیست داره ادا در میاره
I have no words for that. So thank you, Ashkan, for sharing that trailer with us, and I cannot wait to see that movie. I think this is going to be very important and impactful. So thank you, and thank you to the filmmaker who allowed us to show this as well. And before we close out this afternoon, morning, evening, depending on where you are in the world, I do want to invite Sir Joseph back in just a moment to maybe name a few more ladies that he considers important. If anybody has also been with us at the Black History Month event that we had in February, there we had Michele just name a few extra people. And as I mentioned before, it's really important that we say, speak, write these names, because that is how the energy carries on, how they live on, how we continue to be inspired by them. And I mean that in a positive way, inspiring, because sometimes people end up comparing. But in this group, I think we see that we're about holding each other up, carrying each other. As Samir pointed out earlier, you're my brother, you're not heavy. You're my sister, you're not heavy. It is what we do for each other on a daily basis. So Sir Joseph, do you have a few more ladies that you might want to honor, that you might want to mention, just to give voice to their names?
Absolutely. I've listed 20 here, and
Perfect.
20 sounds ludicrous in the context of women's achievements. So I just selected a variety of ladies from different time zones, different cultures, to hopefully sort of spread the awareness around a little, and the appreciation. So in no particular order, first one is Hedy Lamarr. Initially known as a movie star, glamorous and often typecast to play a seductress, she became an inventor and devised improvements to traffic signals, wing design improvements for Howard Hughes planes, and a form of frequency hopping technology, which was a precursor to Wi-Fi. Marie Curie discovered radium and polonium. She was the first woman to be awarded the Nobel Prize and the only one to win the prize in two different fields, physics and chemistry. Marian Anderson, the first African-American to sing with the Metropolitan Opera in New York, and overcame many attempts to bar her from performing in Washington, D.C., later appointed by President Eisenhower as a delegate to the United Nations Human Rights Committee. Ella Fitzgerald overcame a challenging adolescence, including time as a numbers runner, a spell in a reformatory, to become one of the most influential singers of modern times, and the first African-American woman to win multiple Grammy Awards. Sophie Scholl was a student and activist with the White Rose nonviolent resistance group against the Nazis. She helped write and distribute leaflets and pamphlets intended to inspire German intelligentsia, executed with her brother by the Nazis in February 1943. Boudica, queen of the Iceni tribe in Britain, who led a revolt against the Roman Empire around 60 AD. Jeanne d'Arc, known to us as Joan of Arc, a peasant girl who led the French army to victory against the English at Orleans in 1429, later captured and burnt at the stake, canonized by Pope Benedict XV in 1920. Eleanor Roosevelt, a political activist who worked behind the scenes to help advance civil rights in the US and had a leading role in designing the Universal Charter of Human Rights. Mary Robinson, first female president of Ireland against the might of the overwhelmingly male political establishment. She was one of the founding members of the Elders alongside Nelson Mandela and Archbishop Desmond Tutu. Malala Yousafzai, the youngest Nobel Peace Prize laureate at age 17. She survived an assassination attempt by the Pakistani Taliban and has been a passionate advocate for the education and rights of women. Gráinne Mhaol, Grace O'Malley, the red-haired Irish pirate queen of the 16th century, tribal leader, politician, powerful negotiator who broke the mold of leadership. Althea Gibson, the first African-American to receive an invitation to the Nationals, which became the Open, and the first to win a Grand Slam event in 1956. She was both a tennis and golf pro and dealt with adversity in both codes. Ada Lovelace worked closely with Charles Babbage on his analytical engine, the precursor of the computer, and was the first to recognize that the machine had applications beyond mathematics. Valentina Tereshkova, the first female cosmonaut and the first woman in space when she flew a solo mission on Vostok 6 in June 1963, spending 3 days in space. Amelia Earhart, the first female pilot to circumnavigate the globe, the first to fly solo across the Atlantic, and the first to fly solo from Hawaii to California. Junko Tabei, a Japanese mountaineer and the first woman to reach the summit of Everest and the first to ascend the 7 summits across the continents. Fanny Blankers-Cohen competed in the 1948 Summer Olympics in London as a 30-year-old mother of two and won 4 gold medals: the 100 meters, the 200 meters, the 80 meters hurdles, and the relay. And she probably would have won the high jump and the long jump as well, but rules limited women to 3 individual events. Clara Schumann, regarded as one of the most distinguished pianists of the Romantic era, she had a 61-year concert career and was a successful composer and teacher. Clara Barton risked her life to bring food and supplies to soldiers in the field during the Civil War and founded the American Red Cross in 1881 and led it for 23 years. And then finally, Rosalind Franklin. Her discovery of the nature and the helical structure of DNA paved the way for the work of Crick and Watson. Her early death in 1958 meant she wasn't included in the Nobel Prize award to Crick, Watson, and Wilkins, as Nobel Prizes are not awarded posthumously.
Wow. Thank you so much, Joseph. Some of them I knew, but you added a lot more to my knowledge base. Thank you for that. Thank you. Beautiful. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to end the Facebook Live, but please stay with us.